Hi there everyone. I'll give you a tour around my garden. It's the 15th of May and everything's really starting to pick up in the garden. It's coming up to planting out time and there'll be plenty of space in the greenhouse. I've got my short tomatoes here. The varieties that I'm growing are Gold Star and Shirley. They're also nice eating varieties, so they're spot on. Over here I've just planted some teddy bear sunflowers. They're a short sunflower but they look good in a vase, so I've just planted a few of them. Bell peppers down here. I've got 2 plants of that. In the dahlias, onto the dahlias. I've potted up the last lot of dahlia cuttings. I'm over the moon with the dahlia cuttings. And the Vitapod propagator is now being dismantled and put in the shed just to store over the summer till I need it again. I can't really rave about the Vitapods enough because I've had over 500 dahlia cuttings go through that without losing any, so if anyone's looking to invest in a big propagator, I would strongly recommend going for a Vitapod because they work a treat. What else I have got is a fan. It's a 12-volt fan, and that'll run off the solar panel, and that'll go in my polytunnel, and it'll go up on the high end of the polytunnel, and it'll push the hot air back down to the ground and circulate the air around the air polytunnel. So be interesting to see how powerful it is and if it moves enough air around. But we'll see how that goes. That's the next job on the list of things to do. So I'll probably have that up and running before the next video. If I haven't, I'll do a specialist video just to show you how I've done that. So the dahlias, there's plenty of them there. I'll just do a quick run round of the dahlias. The most successful variety that I've had this year is Mary's Jomanda. Easily over 90 cuttings off that plant alone, which have rooted, so I can't complain. The ones at the bottom here will be planted out just in a spare bit of garden, just to grow cut flowers, so get some early cut flowers on them. So that's and what I have got planted, which I've just planted yesterday, cucumber. The variety that I'm growing this year is Carmen. It's a show variety. And also a giant cucumber from Peter Glazebrook stock. I've also got some squash in there. Over to the other one, I've got me giant tomatoes. Gigantamo is a American variety. It's also named Steakhouse, as Royston says. So that one there is grown for a specific class at Harrogate, which is sponsored by, I think, Thomas and Morgan. I may be wrong, but the prize money last year was over £1,000, and the DNA tested the tomato to make sure it was of the said variety. So interesting one. See how that goes. See how many germinate. There's 11 seeds in that tray, so hopefully I'll get 11 through, and I'll be tempted to grow all 11 just to maybe get a bit of cash back from that one. Peter Glazebrook's onions in there. It's a 4.45, a 4.26, and an unknown one, which I'm gonna grow because it was in the same packet, the same section of the packets where I have all my giant veg. So that's it. In the greenhouse, what I have got running in here is solar fan, which is running off my solar panel. That just circulates the air around the greenhouse. With the greenhouse, I haven't got the floor wet at the moment, but I wet the floor and it lowers the air temperature, and well, it stabilizes the air temperature, and it also raises the humidity up. I do that in my polytunnels in the greenhouse. I'll quickly show you around the back. The blanch leeks. These had the first watering yesterday, and they're starting to really bulk out now. They've got a 12-inch collar on. I'm tempted to step that up to a 14-inch, but they're doing really well. It's got a hose underneath, that's the hose end there. Can't really complain with them. First time I've grown them, so they're doing spot on. Nice and clean, no insect damage on them or anything like that. So really happy with them. I've got some supports on the floor which I'm going to erect probably next week. Strawberries, abundance of strawberries going to come off them again this year, hopefully. They're just starting to flower, so I might give them a little feed, but we'll see. Fly up to the top. And what I've got here is giant potatoes. The variety that I've got is Condor, and what I've put them in is a 5 litre pot, and I'll reduce it down to 1 potato and then put them up into a 30 litre pot. I'm a bit late with them. The idea with these is to really take a cutting off so it only grows 1 tuber on it, but I'm tempted to just keep a couple back, so keep these for stock if I get a big one, albeit good, but if not, keep it back for stock next year. So that's the potatoes, the Condor giant potatoes. Into the polytunnel, into the onion tunnel. They're really starting to pick up now. Some of them's putting on over 1 inch a week. Still only lost the 2 to double centre. Everything else looks spot on. There's a couple of 1 or 2 small ones in there, but happy with them so far. But what I really am surprised at is how much the Peter Glazebrook strain have picked up. The bulbing that I had early on seems to have sorted itself out, but they look really good. And also I've been advised that I constructed the air pots upside down by the manufacturer, so dropped the bollock there, but just one of them things. But I've just got to keep on top of the water, as I say. But the ones in the air pots look and measure a lot stronger than the ones in the trench at the moment, so be interesting to see the difference between the air pots as opposed to growing in pots and trenches. So, but the ones in the air pots seem to be big, thick flutes, nice and long, no scorching on the tips or anything like I had early on. But the scorching on the tips in the trench and that seem to have phased out. So we'll see. I will be giving the ones in the pots a feed once a week, maybe. As the ones in the pots, once the roots fill the pots, they'll start looking for food and then they'll start to slow down a bit. But I might give them a feed, or I might try half and half in the pots with feed, because you don't want to overdo it. Onions and feed really don't go too well together, but we'll see. Quality onions starting to pick up now. Hoping for somewhere in the region of £5 to £6 out of them, so they look a bit small at the minute, but there's still plenty of time yet. I've got space here in the corner for 2 tomatoes. I'm going to grow 1 tomato in an air pot and 1 tomato in a 30 litre normal pot. So we'll see what happens with them. Into the polytunnel, the leek tunnel. This is another Condor here. I'm going to reduce it down to 1, similar crack to the other one. Leeks, ginormous. Some of them's measuring 9 inches around. Some of them more. So we'll see. But I had this last year where they were huge early on and they just failed miserably because they come too early. But we'll see. These ones on the left here are a variety called Betty Black. This is where I've got my money at the moment. They can be as big as I want at the end or beginning of May, but the time that matters is September, so we'll see. I don't know if it's a problem, but I don't know if you can see the little insects that's crawling around on the trench there. I thought they were thrip, but people are saying they're too big. They look about 3 millimeters. Somebody says they could be springtails. They do jump as I put my hand near them, and obviously the leeks are squeaky clean, so they can't be thrip. So I thought they were thrip, but they're not. So if you've got any suggestions as to what that little pest is, or is it a friend or is it a foe, somebody will know out there. So that's the leeks. Happy with them so far. Dahlias are in here hardening off. Oh, sorry about that. Dahlias are in here hardening off. To be planted out in 2 weeks' time. As I say, floor wet, keep the temperature down and humidity up. I'm starting to prepare the dahlia beds. What I've done is took the path out the centre of the trench there. So I've got 2 continuous trenches all the way down. It'll give us 17 metres in length, and I'll be putting a watering soaker underneath there just to keep on top of the watering. So that's the dahlia trenches. I've also got one there for poppins at the side, but this will be covered area. Raspberries. I've been asked to show you the raspberries. Top raspberry grower in the northeast, Sean Smith. He follows me blog and my YouTube videos. Doesn't garden at all, but he loves us that much that he carries on watching me videos. So raspberries are doing spot on. Can't really complain. What I have planted in here is 120 gladioli in 2 batches, so one last week, one this week. They're just mainly for a bit of colour for the house and a couple of local shows, so see what happens with them. Parsnips, doing spot on so far, and carrots, all of them through. I've got a couple of misses, maybe 1 or 2 out of 180. Cannot really complain with that, so happy with them so far. What I have done is on the Hativ Dinoir shallots is reduce them down to 4 per plant, and that allows them to reach the correct size for sure. So that's the shallots there. Tough ball onions, no supports on them, still look nice and straight. They've got a touch of thrip, but not really causing any problems. But onion sets looking good. General veg, this is the brassica bed, planted out yesterday in the tubes that they're in, or just to keep the pigeons away, just till they get established, so happy with them. Sweet corn, the variety that I'm growing this year is incredible. Planting it in blocks so that they self-pollinate between themselves without me having to give them any help. So that's them. I've got some just general leeks there to plant out. Potatoes in pots. They've got 2 potatoes in each pot. I've got Kestrel grown, Winston, Sorbo Mira, and Sorbo Anoxa. So that's the garden. Just a quick run around to show you how things are getting on. Can't really complain. So thanks for watching.